Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And honestly, today, there's a lot of very important stuff that has happened. We have a little update on the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit, which also has to do with Sam Bankman-Fried. We have a little bit about Celsius, as there's a very big problem, a multi-billion-dollar problem. Since we're already in the topic of the SEC and we're already talking about it, let's continue that on a little bit further. Also talking a little bit about Binance's plans to acquire Voyager, and we'll see how it goes from there. Having said that, if you're enjoying these daily crypto videos, make sure you press that like button. I believe we could easily get to 400 likes on this video, so make sure that you press that button as it costs you nothing and helps out a ton. First of all, let me show you guys a couple of tweets regarding the Ripple versus SEC lawsuit. As I said earlier, this also coincides a little bit with Sam Bankman-Fried and Ethereum. Charles Gasparino of Fox said on Twitter, "The autopsy of the SEC v Ripple case is a work in progress, obviously. But amid the Sam Bankman-Fried debacle, it is worth asking why the SEC did focus on XRP/Ripple. The answer, based on my reporting, comes down to the SEC believing Ripple management was flouting SEC's authority by continuing to sell XRP after on notice to stop, because the way it was being sold seemed to establish XRP's designation as a security. Notice, Ethereum did possibly one sale and stopped. No case. Not picking sides, just reporting why case was brought." Well, we don't really have to add our own opinion, as Stuart Aldoty of Ripple came in to quickly set everything straight. Even if this were to be true, this only shows that the SEC's unelected bureaucrats believe they have unchecked power to issue indiscriminate closed-door edicts under pain of punishment to those who don't blindly obey. We have crossed from regulation by enforcement to hubris most foul. And John Dean, a very well-known lawyer in the Ripple versus SEC case, obviously representing the XRP holders, he said, "What can't get lost here is the mission of the SEC is to protect investors. XRP holders who had nothing to do with Ripple allegedly flaunting the SEC's authority. SEC officials intentionally asserted overbroad allegations to cause maximum pain on the people they protect, which is shameful." Now, to not stick with that for too long, because we all understand the very strange ethics of the SEC, the very strange situation, let's cover some more news. James Filan posted a new letter. He said, "SEC versus Ripple, a non-party called Investment Banker Declarant, who submitted a declaration to facilitate the SEC's investigation of Ripple, filed a motion to redact his declaration in support of the SEC's motion for summary judgment." You might think, why are there so many redactions? That's an interesting point, but there are many all the time. You might also want this to be explained in a different form. Please explain this to me from like a soccer game form, since it's the only way I can understand. And Jeremy Hogan said, "The coach decided to bench a young player at the World Cup, but then mistakenly disclosed why to a reporter. Now the coach wants to remain anonymous because he's scared he'll receive death threats from the player's fans." And in regards to the LLP behind this, attorney Alyssa M. Hasbrook of Sidley Austin LLP has filed an appearance on behalf of this investment banker declarant. If you scroll down a little bit, you can see people are starting to find out exactly what Sidley Austin is already involved with as well. You can see joined by former Davis Polk and Simpson Thatcher attorneys, yada yada yada. This whole circle goes around time and time again. If you don't know these names, don't worry about it. But the ones who know, they know. So that was it for the Ripple department of this video. There's now a really interesting SEC piece, which we have to cover. It is in regards to Voyager. But now before we move on, guys, if you're still looking for a platform to trade, make sure you check out the links down below. BitGet and Bybit are the exchanges that I personally use, and you can get a ton of bonus by checking them out. But also, if you're looking for a hardware wallet, there's a link right here. It's the wallet that I personally use, and there will also always be somewhere down below, I'm not sure exactly where, but it's somewhere right here, a link to a VPN. Just always use a VPN when you're browsing on the internet, especially in the crypto sphere, and NordVPN is the one that I personally use. I'll leave a link down below, just check it out, as right now they have a cool bonus going on. In regards to Voyager, the SEC objects Binance's plans. Binance US wants to acquire them, to acquire Voyager Digital. Binance's planned $1 billion acquisition of insolvent cryptocurrency lender Voyager Digital was rejected due to lack of sufficient information. And honestly, the question is quite good because, well, the SEC files this limited objection to Binance US's deal because the agency is basically asking for more details how the crypto exchange can afford such a large deal. And this basically comes in the wake of the fact that the SEC already earlier was basically asking from Binance, hey, where exactly is your main company headquartered? We know everything about Binance US, but where exactly is Binance itself? Which company in which country owns it? Apparently, as we can see right here, they're just not in compliance with the law over in Texas and are not authorized to conduct business in Texas, and that might become a relatively difficult thing in the near future. Alright, since we don't know exactly how that scenario is going to play out, let us cover about something which is also rather interesting and definitely very scary for all of y'all, and all of me, I guess. There's a new conclusion regarding Celsius. If you don't know what Celsius was, it's something to measure the temperature. Oh, that's the wrong Celsius. Really bad joke. All right, Judge Martin Glenn has officially ruled crypto held in Celsius Network earn accounts property of the Celsius estate and grants Celsius permission to sell stablecoins deposited by customers to generate liquidity. Additional liquidity will be necessary early this year. Be prepared for some massive basically sells of either stablecoins or potentially even crypto of the people that deposited onto Celsius. Now, what this means is, first of all, if you haven't done it yet, check the link down below and get yourself a hardware wallet. The reason I'm saying this right now more than ever is because what's basically been brought to light is that if you decide to deposit money onto an exchange, it's basically theirs from now on. You can read it right here yet again. Breaking. Judge rules that Celsius users gave up all legal rights to their Bitcoin by using the platform, and all the $4.2 billion of crypto deposits are now property of Celsius. And since Celsius is in a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, they're basically restructuring everything, as we all know. And this means they're not just paying everybody back, they're just restructuring the company to make sure it can work better or work yet again. Hopefully you guys understand that. Now, you can see David Adler also posting breaking news, 45-page written decision just issued by Judge Glenn on earn ownership. Conclusion is that the earned crypto is property of the estate, and that is very scary. Again, just read the first two lines of this. A rare point of agreement among all parties is that the debtors' liquidity is precipitously running out, and the debtors need to generate liquidity to fund these Chapter 11 cases and continue down the path either of a standalone plan reorganization, a Section 363B sale, or even a liquidation plan. And it's said that additional liquidity will be needed in early of this year, so within the next couple of months, and the debtors demonstrate a sound business justification for selling stablecoins, and the court agrees that it is appropriate to grant authority to do so. And that is scary, guys. That is really scary. Let's kind of summarize again. This means if you are generating interest in one of these platforms on any website, it could potentially, via their terms of service, be their money. And so if they leave, well, you're not really owed your money as it's kind of theirs. It basically belongs under their assets right now. It's not like they're holding yours for you. It's basically you gave it to them with the expectation of getting something back eventually, but you gave it away. It's literally like lending out money, not as them holding your money for you. And that is kind of scary because now they can use your money to basically refund their company to get back out of all this. Will that at the end of the day be more profitable for you? Potentially so. Because if there was too little money to go around, well, then you might only get, let's say, 50 cents on the dollar. And potentially with this reorganization, they can actually make more money out of it so you can get more back. But it's also kind of scary, the idea that they're able to control that. Regardless, make sure you check out the links down below. One of my analysts pointed out, and actually one of my moderators, I guess, one of the best guys that I know in the crypto space, he pointed out that if you're using a ledger, also always use a VPN. He said, make sure you point this out to your guys, that potentially whenever you're opening up the app or using it, I don't really fully know the details here, they're also logging your IP or at least checking it. Not 1000% sure on this because I don't really care, and I always use a VPN anyway, but just if you don't have a VPN, it's like $1 a month, just get it. I don't want to hear any excuses of people saying, no, I don't want, just get yourself one if it's allowed in your jurisdiction, which I suppose it is in everywhere except for maybe like China or something. It's just to be as safe as possible over on the intrawebs. And I think literally that it's not even $3. It could literally be just $1 every single month. Just check it out. A link will be down below. NordVPN is the one I use. I can recommend them to the fullest. Good support, good easy, everything. Yeah, just check it out. And that was it for today's video, guys. The crypto space is really in for a big freaking ride. Regulations left, regulations right. Problems left, problems right. And right now, it's kind of, like I said earlier, like a week ago or so, it's accountability time. A lot of these crypto companies are now being held accountable for some of the things which they've done. But we're also starting to see the first cases of a lot of things which, well, will set the fundamentals of everything we're going to see in the next couple of decades. We have the first major cryptocurrency lawsuits being settled and basically starting to see shape in how the SEC wants to treat crypto, or how the US as a whole wants to treat crypto. All those foundations are being set in, well, I guess the fundamentals for that are being set in stone. Yeah, I agree. And over the next couple of months, a lot of things are going to change. But I still buy crypto every single day. Personally, I buy it every single day over on Bybit. But just make sure you stay involved with the space, guys, as you don't want to miss it when things do blow up yet again. And it probably won't take too long. At least that's my own expectation. Not a financial advisor, but my personal expectation. And that's it for today's video. Hopefully, guys, I'll see you again in another one tomorrow.